Let's open this slide. CSS, how to write the CSS for a tag name. You have to write that style tag open, style tag close, paragraph open and close, paragraph open and close. After opening the paragraph and closing the paragraph, you will write inside, open the tag, open the p tag, and then not open the p tag, just write the p character only. And after that, open the curly bracket, close the curly bracket, and write inside height, width, margin, padding, everything. Next, we have division. Open the div tag. Inside that, again write. Follow the all the property value what you want to implement. Again, another one, section tag. Open and close. Inside, follow again property value, whichever we want to write. So these all are called CSS by tag name. CSS, you are writing for a particular tag. You are not writing for anything else. In current page, wherever the paragraph will come, everywhere this feature will get applied. Where div will come, this feature will apply. Where section tag will come, this feature will get. Okay. So this is called as a CSS by tag name. Now, if you open the developer guide, open the developer guide. In developer guide, we have written few points. Few points we have written. These all are the problem under the CSS that inline CSS we have written. In developer guide, we have written internal CSS is one to many. You can write the CSS code one time and you can keep using it many times. That you saw here. You wrote the section tag one time CSS and you are calling many times. For division, you wrote the CSS one time, you are calling many times. For paragraph, you wrote the CSS one time, you are calling many times. Coming down, when we look at here, so to make one to many, since internal CSS says it's one to many process, so to make one to many, what other options we have? Is that only this much option or some other option is also available? So not only this many, we have many more. So we have listed already here CSS by tag name, CSS by ID, CSS by class. Correct. So those 5 methods we have, we are going to implement all the 5 methods. And after that, we will get proper clarity. Yes, if I want to write the CSS, then this all 5 methods, how it is going to come. Okay, so those implementation is the next step. We are going to follow one by one example for each method, and finally we will mix all together. One example for one method, and then we will mix all. Okay, so let's move ahead. And create a file CSS by, oh, not only this much, hold on. From this example 1.html file, copy this tag, copy this much. You have example 1.html file, copy this section to section tag and go to the developer guide. And in this here, you can write example, example, and under the example, you can add this much. So it will represent, yes, this is the way we can write the CSS by tag name. This all we can write here, and we can say this is the way we can write CSS by tag name. You can also do that. Let's follow. Go to 1.html, copy the section tag, complete CSS, and paste here and save the file. Hope written. Move ahead. Now create the file 2.html where we are going to implement CSS by ID. And that example we can add here. So first create the file CSS by, not CSS by, example 2.html. Let's create a file 2.html under the internal CSS. Okay, start from the HTML. Follow the head section. Inside the head, follow the style tag. Follow the body tag. Now under the style tag, we will write some CSS. First, go to the body, follow a div. For the division, give ID equal to header. This is, or maybe you can write header here. This from header. Second, we will write maybe block 1, maybe block 2, maybe block 3. Correct? Maybe block 4. Any ID, whichever you want to give, start with alpha, not start with a number. This is from block 1. Block 1. Block 2, block 3, block 4. Okay, hope written. Repeat power cut happen. This only I have written. Write this. And this what to repeat. You can write this. Create the division, write header. Then block 1, block 2, block 3, block 4. Now we will write the CSS for this. We'll write the CSS for body tag, not for body tag. Okay, our body also you can write a special CSS. All is a background, a sky blue. Background is sky blue. So in current page, wherever the body tag will come, the body tag is sky blue will happen. Wherever the body tag will come, background will become as a sky blue. Wherever the body tag will come, background will convert into a sky blue. body tag will come and it will convert into sky blue. So this becomes CSS by tag name. You have written the CSS for a tag, the tag name is body. So in current page where the body will come, okay, where the body will come, there this CSS will get applied. For example, let's run and see here. Body become a sky blue color. Body becomes a sky blue color. Now, how to write the ID? You have created the ID called header. Write some CSS for header. So you can create the ID using hash and name of your ID. So what is the ID name? ID name is called header. ID name is called header. Hash header. Hash header. So what is going to happen now? It is the header you have written here. It is not any for the division for paragraph for H1 or for H2 and for H3. It is for those elements, those tags where ID equal to header. Now you can see for this particular division we have written ID equal to header. So within this curly bracket, whichever the CSS you are going to write, within this curly bracket, whichever the CSS you are going to write, that CSS will get applied for this header tag. That CSS will get applied for header where we have written the ID. Now let's go write for this suppose padding. Padding 40 pixel. Background dark red. Okay, and color as white. So background will come dark red color, padding will be 40 pixel, and color will be which color? Color will be white color. Color will be white color. Then font size will be close to 40-50 px. Okay, save this file. Let's see, one division got ready, and that is which one? The upper section. All are division only, but look at different. Text hyphen align colon center. Text align as a center. Text align as a center. If you run this file, you can see it's appear here. So you can see here, this is not applying for remaining divisions. Can you see? It is applying for those division where ID equal to header. Now for header, we wrote padding 40 pixel, background color dark red, color as a white, font size 50 pixel, text align as a center. Right? Right, hope working. Check once. Your page look like this or anything different. Now we have many other divisions, block 1, block 2, block 3, block 4. So we have to write the ID for all as block 1, as block 1, That's block 1. Inside, you will be writing CSS, and that will apply only for block 1, because block 2, block 3, block 4 all are division only. But since ID is different, you are not writing the CSS for any division or paragraph. You are writing the CSS for a which one? For a tag name. What is the tag name? Block 1. Come down. Now for block 1, give the width. Suppose 200 px. Height, assume 300 px. Background, assume orange color. Font size, assume 30 pixel. Float, you have already seen. Start from left side. Float as a left. Margin 30 pixel or maybe 40 pixel. Any pixel you can give. Suppose 30 pixels we give. So we are saying for the block 1, you take the width 200, you take the height as a 300, keep the background as a orange, then keep font size 30 pixel, keep float as a left, keep margin 30 pixel. Okay, keep margin as a 30 px. So this division is going to leave from all the side, the gap of 30 pixel. It will start from left side. Font size will be 30 pixel and color background will be orange color. Let us see. See, it's happened only for one division. The remaining 3 division are just like that. It has no any impact. So what to do for that? Come down again. Check now. Block 1 is working. Block 1 should work. Okay, now see here. In this current page, in the current page, you have written call block 2, block 3, block 4. Okay. So block 2, block 3, block 4 ID we have not written still. So there is no any kind of impact on that. So we are going to do a small changes. What changes? Okay. A small changes. Block 2 also change as a block 1 only. Block 3 also change block 1. Block 4 also changes block 1. Block 1 everywhere. Block 1 change everywhere. Now save the file and run it. You will find same thing got applied 4 places. Same thing got applied 4 places. Now you have only HTML, CSS, there is no problem, it's working. Since ID is duplicate here, you can see block 1, block 1, block 1, block 1. How many times you are calling? 4 times. But the rule of the ID is different. ID says like in one page, one ID, you should not use many times. ID, rule of the ID says in one page, one ID you should not use many times. What is the problem if you are using many times? If you are using one ID many times, then duplicate will happen. Your JavaScript will get fail in the future. In future, once you write the JavaScript will say in one page ID is repeating. In one page ID is repeating. If ID will get repeated, that means JavaScript will say sorry, ID is duplicate. It will work only for the first ID. It will work for only for the first block. It will not work for the second, third, and fourth. So in normal day-to-day life also, we keep ID card, ID as a different. System also understand in same way. System also say like in every HTML, every tag ID must be unique. ID should not be duplicate. If ID is duplicate, what problem will happen is, if ID is duplicate, what problem will happen? Your JavaScript will not work in the future. HTML, CSS is working now also, it will work in the future also. But JavaScript will not work. JavaScript will work only for the first occurrence. It will not work for the remaining other occurrence. Okay, so that problem will come. So save the file. And after that, save the file. And after that, you can run this file, right? Run this file and you can see here, hope it look like similar for everyone. But it is working. I'm not saying it is not working. It is working only, but your page is not following the actual rules. The rule regulation is something else, and we have created the page using something else. The rule regulation is something else, and we have created the page using something else. So your page will work now, but in future JavaScript once we use, then it will not work. Leave this file. Let's go for the next file. We will write the rule regulation for ID. Okay. Once we complete the class, then we'll write the CSS for ID. CSS by class will create example. We'll finish that, and then we'll come to the CSS by ID example. Not ID will create a small node for that. So let's go here. You can copy anyone from here. Suppose header, you can copy this and go to the CSS file, and inside the CSS file, okay, this becomes an example. Okay, hope ready. Now go ahead, create the next file, 3.html. That will explain you the class. Okay, 3.html you create, that will explain you about the class. Create 3.html file. HTML start from, follow the head section, style followed on body. Let's go inside, follow a div again, id equal to header, print inside header, write a division call, footer dot give here, keep a class name, class equal to my block, block 1, my block, my block, my block, my block, my block. Follow 5, 6 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Block 1, block 2, block 3, block 4, block 5, and block 6. Created. So in this file, we will implement CSS by tag name also, by ID also, as well as class also. All three methods you will follow in this. Write the body tag first. Background orange color. So header will come in orange. Oh, not header, body. Body will be keep a sky blue only still. Next you have call has header. Has header. Has header. For header, you can take the CSS from previous file. The CSS we have written, copy and paste here, same CSS. Let it be same header. Okay, hook written, check now. Header looks same. Now block 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 we have. So we can write the class for that. So you can read, you can see here, written the class called my block. Go here, write dot my block, dot my block. dot my block. Now for my block, you have to write the CSS. So look at the difference. When you wrote the CSS for a tag name, you wrote only the name of the tag, and then you open the flower bracket, close here, and you wrote inside property value. When you wrote the CSS for a ID, right, what we did, we open the here we have not opened any kind of predefined tag. Here also we have not written any kind of predefined tag. Okay, we have written a ID and class. ID was decided by us. Yes, ID will be header, but system want to understand what you are creating ID, so follow the hash for system understanding. Below you are creating the class. Even my block is also not any predefined tag. System wanted to understand what you are creating. So we are saying, yes, we are creating a class. System says like, okay, then follow the dot. Because your compiler will differentiate ID for the hash for the ID and the dot for the class. Coming inside, what is the class name? My block, my block, my block, my block, my block, many times. So we can write here, my block. First, between my block, two block, there should be some gap of 40 pixel. Then after that, width of the my block, keep it at 300 pixel. Height of the my block also give 300 pixel. Float you have to give left because it should start one after other. And after that, background you have to give as a blue color, and then not blue color, give some other color, orange color, and then text align should be center, and font size also should be bigger, 30 px. Written my block. So now how many places we are calling class as a my block? All the places this CSS will get applied. In this case, you are not breaking any rule of CSS. In this case, in this example, we are not breaking any rule of CSS. It is following 100% rule of the CSS. Okay, now let's look at the page. See, it's look like this. 3 are coming in one line because I have given more gap. Let me reduce little the gap. Margin I'll keep as a 20, maybe 20. Then it will fit 4 blocks in one line. 4 blocks are fitting in one line, and 2 has gone to the new line. We can use based on percentage also, but that is our next target. We are first understanding the class and ID, how it will be. So check now, your page is working or not. Okay, working. एक मिनट प्रोजेक्ट. Okay, leave that. See it later. Okay, now you can see here in the previous page, two example you can see. Your ID was also working here, and here class is also working. Class is also working, ID is also working. Now, in the case of class, when to use the class and when to use the ID, a small theory we have, we can make a note. Let's go ahead. Okay, the theory is about here. If you go to the developer guide, first this CSS code you can copy and paste there as a class, as an example. My block. Now come to the ID. When to use the ID? You can write here one small note. If inside a page, one type of design, if inside a page, one type of design, if inside a page, one type of design is required only, one time. If inside a page, one type of design is required only how many times? Only one time. Only one time. Then we can use the ID. Inside a page, one type of design is required only one time. Then we can use the ID. What will be the benefit? If you use the ID, using same ID, you can deal with the HTML, you can deal with the CSS, and using same ID, you can deal with the JavaScript also. Like suppose in the example 3 file, we have a header, we have an ID called header. Okay, we have an ID called header. Now for header, we are able to apply the CSS. In case if you want to apply some JavaScript, then you don't have to write separate ID for that. For the same ID, for the same header, you can apply the CSS also, and for the same header, you can apply the JavaScript also. Okay, so what it says like, if I'm using the ID in one page, number one ID should not be duplicate. Now, when to write the CSS for the ID? In one page, one type of design is required only one time, then you can use the ID. Look at here in this file. You can see here, this header, what is coming? This is repeating how many times? In this page, this header is only one time. The red block what appear on the top, it is available only one time. It is not repeating many times. Okay, it is available only one time. It is not repeating again and again. So in this case, we can see yes, this is based on ID. This will be suitable based on ID. But below you can see similar design is repeating how many times? Similar design is coming many times. So here you should not use the ID. If you use the ID here, it will become against JavaScript code. Okay, and your page will become somewhere. CSS will work, but JavaScript will get failed. So what to do next? Next we have to come down and one line wrote, if inside one page, one type of design is required only one time, then we will follow this method as a ID. But same line you copy now and go for the class. Go for the class. And in the case of class, you can write, if inside a page, one type of design is required many times. Many times. Many times, then we can use the class. Inside a page, one type of design is required many times. Like suppose when we go to the Facebook posting, you can see whoever will post anything, all will look similar design. Correct? Go to the Naukri.com. When you see the job list, job will come in the list everywhere. All the jobs will look similar design. So there we can use the class. Then you will say, if I'm using the class, can I use ID also? Of course, we can use both. ID is especially reserved for the JavaScript and class is especially reserved for the CSS. Our Bootstrap is also designed based on class only, not based on ID. ID is especially reserved for JavaScript. But no problem. If you are designing your own page, you can use ID also and you can use class also. Make sure in one page, one ID should not repeat many times. In one page, if one ID repeat many times, then what will happen? The ID will be duplicate and then your page will not be much dynamic. JavaScript will throw the error somewhere. It will say ID is duplicate and it will not be much suitable. It will not follow the standard. Simply your JavaScript will not work. A standard follow or not follow, that is the next matter, but your JavaScript will not work. Okay, so clear when to use the ID, when to use the class. Let me ask you some more thing here. If I go here, if I use the Paint, inside the pen, I will go here. Okay. Suppose this is one page where this is one design. This is another design. In one page only. These all are the layout where designs are different. And see here. Next, after that, when I come and do something like this, next, after this, do like this. Now you tell me, in this we should follow the ID or class. Everyone should say in the chat, we should use to design this page ID or class.
So both we have to use.
Okay, where ID will come and where class will come.
So on the top, we can use for the header, like the above part ID and the down part ID, and rest of the we can use for a class.
But our formula says different. The theory we have written, theory says inside one page, one type of design is required only one time, then we can use the ID. Okay.
So, okay, sir. So then everywhere we should use ID only, but in that inside that, if we are going to use something else, then we should use class.
Based on this design, we should use ID or class. ID. Based on this design, we should use ID only, no?
Yes, sir. ID only.
Yes. Based on this design, whatever is made as of now, ID will be the best solution. Okay. Next. All are different. See, look at here. Header height is different, footer height is different. Both are not matching, both are different. So you cannot use the class here. Okay, you have to use as a ID only. Next, after that, when you look into the left block and right block, both are different design. It is not same. So here also you cannot use the class. You have to use as a ID. So we can say, let me go here the next level of design. One section, two section, three section, four section, five section, six section, seventh one, eighth one, ninth one, and 10th one. What do you say now? For this blue block, what we should use? ID or class?
Class.
The blue block is coming. For this, what will be the suitable?
Class.
Definitely. For this, class will be suitable. Because one type of design is repeating continuous 10 times. Correct. So in this case, if you are using the ID, then you have to write 10 times different ID. Or if you are not writing the 10 times, you are using the same ID, then how many times you are using? 5 times on the top and 5 times on the bottom. Correct. So we have to keep in mind all those things. When a design will come in front of you, simply you cannot design anything. Simply you cannot write anything. While writing, we have to follow some certain rule regulation also. Okay. So that rule regulation we have to remember. So that says in one page, if there is a scenario, one design is one time, we can use the ID. If one design is many times, we can use the class. Best solution for now as well as for the future. Okay. So hope you got some idea the difference between ID and class. If you want to take photo, take the photo of this. You can try it in home if possible. Can you take the photo? Let me put the color, different color everywhere so that it will be helpful for you. First one, keep black color. Second, keep as a gray color. Last, keep as a blue color. This one, let it be white. And then this all you can keep this color, this color, this color, this color, something like this. Now you take a photo. So maybe after tomorrow class or day after tomorrow class, you can try this. It will be helpful. Hope taken the photo. Go ahead. Now next we have CSS for tag group. That we are going to write example 4.html. Write the file 4.html. In the 4.html, you can write something to understand how we can write the CSS for multiple tags together, like the tag group. So it says like CSS for tag group. So how to create a group of the tag? How to create a group of tag? Go to the 4 file. HTML is going to start here. Follow the head tag. Follow the style tag. Follow the body tag. Now right there H1 CSS for HTML tag group. CSS for HTML tag group. Come down. Write H2. This is from heading to write H3. This is from heading 3. Write div tag. This is from div tag. Below you will write a tag. This is from tag and save now. Now, how to write the CSS in such a way that will apply for H1 also, H2 also, H3 also, division also, as well as paragraph also. Okay, how to write the CSS in such a way where it should be applicable for all the div, all the tags in current page. So you have to create a group of that. So let's write here. For H1, start from H2, H3, paragraph, and div separated by comma. Okay. Color should be green color. Font size should be 30 pixel. And font hyphen style should be italic. Color green, size 30, style as a italic. So now whichever the tag text you have written under the H2, H3 division and paragraph, for all this division, for all these tags, we say, okay, color should be green, font size should be 30 px, and font style should be italic. So H2, H3, H4, paragraph or division becomes a group separated by comma. Now that becomes a CSS by group, tag group. H1 will keep as a separate. H1 becomes a separate tag. Now for this, H1 is not going to be the part of that group. So for that, color, red color, and font hyphen size 50 px. Okay, so it will say H1 color should be red color, H1 color should be red color, and font size should be 50 px. Font size should be 50 px. So H1 becomes a separate as a CSS by tag name. H1 you can say here you have written CSS by tag name method. And this you wrote CSS by tag group method. So how to make a group? Multiple tags separated by comma, you can keep a group. Suppose H2, H3, paragraph and division becomes a group. Now whichever the CSS you write for this group, it will apply for all the tags. But it will not apply for H1 because H1 is not part of the group. So for H1 we wrote as a separate. Okay, H1 should look different and H2, H3, paragraph and division should look same. Font weight can be different, that is no matter, but color wise, italic wise, you can see it looks similar. Write it and check once. Save it and check once. Page 4. CSS for HTML tag group. This is from the heading 2. This is from the heading 3. This is from the div tag. This is from p tag as well. See, these all are looking similar color. Font weight, these all are the weight and this is the normal. So let's apply the font weight also here. All will look same. font weight as a bold. So your text will look bold. H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6, all will look as a bold. See, looking similar. Okay, hope looks similar or something else. So this is the way you can create a group. Now copy this and paste in your developer guide as a CSS by tag group. Copy this much, come to developer guide, paste here as an example. Written. Come now, last one. CSS by for the parent and child tag. So how to make that? We have to create a file, 5.html. HTML head style Let's go for the body. Open, close. Now inside that, follow the UL tag. and write the li tag. UL and li. Under the li, write a href equal to something. Href leave empty. Copy this 3-4 times. About us. Contact us. Login. Register. Inquiry. Services. हम फिर बोले हाँ शुरू हुआ, आप ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं 11 o'clock tomorrow. मैं अपना वाला, मेरा वाला लिंक है वो यूज कर सकते हैं. हाँ हाँ करेक्ट 11 o'clock. बट कल ज्वाइन करने से पहले आप नया प्रोजेक्ट सेटअप कर लो. प्रोजेक्ट सेटअप करने आता है ना रिएक्ट का? नहीं कंपोनेंट वाला नहीं, npx क्रिएट रिएक्ट है. ठीक है, तो एक नया बना लीजिएगा. जो सिद्धार्थ वाला है उसको अलग कर दीजिएगा, मेरा वाला अलग प्रोजेक्ट सेटअप कर लीजिएगा. मैं 2 कमांड भेजता हूँ, आप उसको रन कर दो. ओके, यू कैन क्रिएट अ रिएक्ट फोल्डर एंड रन. मैं फोटो भेजता हूँ एक, उसमें लिखा हुआ पूरा, आप उसको फॉलो कर लीजिए. हाय सेंड कीजिए हमको व्हाट्सएप में. 11 o'clock tomorrow. Okay, so hope you written this. Save the file. Now in this file, I have written purposefully ULLIA to understand that A is the part of LI. A is the part of LI. So we can say A tag is the child tag of LI. The A tag is the child of which tag? LI tag. Okay. Next after that, A is the child of LI tag. Next after that, LI is the child of UL tag. In fact, it is the main element and sub element. But here we are looking as a parent-child point of view. Yes, LI is the part of UL, so UL is the parent. A is the part of LI, so A becomes a child. So A is the last child of LI and LI is the child of UL. You will copy this 3 line and paste after this UL. Only LI. Right there H1 elements without parent. Elements without parent. Elements without parent. Elements without parent. Now come down to the CSS block. If you run this file, you can see like this. So look like this. Since li is also block level, it goes to the new line. So upper li is also new line. This is also new line. What we want to change the color of text. So for that, we have a tag called A. We will write the CSS here. A color equal to red color and font size 20 px and text hyphen decoration as a none. Text decoration none meaning is what? Text decoration none meaning the hyperlink will come by default as underline. That underline will get removed using the text decoration none property. Text decoration none property will remove the which one? Underline. Okay. Okay, so color red, font size 20, text decoration none. So this will happen for all the A tag. This will happen for all the A tag. Whichever the A tag we have in current page, all the A tag color will get changed, font size will be 20 pixel and text decoration will be none. Let me show you here. You can see font size got increased everywhere. Color become a red color. So this method what you have written, it is not for the parent and child. It is for a particular tag. That tag is the parent tag or child tag, no matter. In current page, wherever it is, everywhere it will get applied. In current page, wherever it is, no matter, everywhere it will get applied. Okay. Now come down. What we will do is, you will write before li, a tag as a li. So li will become as a parent. So which a tag? Not all a tag. Only those a tag that is under the li. Only those a tag that is under the li. Next after that, which li? Those li that is under the ul. So now the color will not change for all the A tag. Color will change only for those A tag that is under the li, and li must be under the ul. So this will become a simple example of parent and child. So we are addressing to A tag, those A tag that is under the li, and li should be under the ul. So the grandparent tag should be ul, it should have li, and then if there is inside a tag, then only the color will get changed. So what is the benefit of that? You can see here, ul open close, li also open close, correct? Everywhere there is a tag, a tag, a tag, a tag, a tag. Now it will apply for this section. It will not apply for the second section because in the second section, UL is missing. Your compiler is unable to find the address what you have mentioned on the top. Now if you run this file, you can see like this. You see here, read happen where only for the upper li, not for the upper A, not for the bottom A. Come down. Write one more here. Li should be display in a line. Li should be display as a in a line. Okay. And there margin padding we can add something. Keep a padding of 30px. We are saying li should be display in line means come where one after other. Don't go to the new line. Okay, come one after other. Don't go to the new line. But question is which li? All the li or a specific li? So it says like all the li. In current page, whichever the li is there, it is applicable for all the li. But we want a specific only. Which one? Those li that is under the UL. Those li that is under the UL. So what will happen now? It will happen like CSS will apply, display in line will happen, but where only those li that is following the UL, whose parent is UL. Save it now, and then let's look to the browser. See here. All are coming where? In the same line. Bottom li is still in the name line. It has not gone to the same line, right? So how to write the parent and child? Parent tag will be the first space, second child. Okay. Check now. Hope it should work for you. This is just simple example. A ID also will be a parent. A class also can be a parent. Okay. And this structure can be like ID will be parent, child will be class, class will have a tag, tag inside the tag. So those we are going to follow. Okay. So you will get very good idea. Working, not working, say something. Write it also. Working. Cool. Now write the CSS for UL tag. For UL. As a CSS by tag name. Background. As a something. Maybe green color. and padding similar 20 px. Check now, UL background got changed to green color. See here, UL background not changed, something wrong. I have not saved the file. Yes, run it and see what's changed to green color. Home, about us, contact us, login, register, inquiry services, correct? Okay, so here now you will copy the first and second two block and paste in your developer guide as an example. Okay. Next, after this again, we'll sit for the same tomorrow. There we will use this all the methods. By tag name, by class name, by parent child, by group, all will mix and we'll design some templates. Like different type of layout will design. 4-5 pages will create. You will get a good idea. Okay, next after this, assignment related. Have you tried or not? HTML completed all assignment. Info Campus LMS. The HTML assignment. Oh, something is coming. HTML assignment. You have completed or not? Is HTML all is done or anything is pending? Let's go for CSS now. And in CSS, you can see you have some basic photos, right? Let's work on this. See, in this, you should not feel like I should go in sequence. Whichever the photo you feel comfortable, you start doing that, okay? It is all under your control, but you need to log in here. You have the login access. I think here you should have login access already. Okay, cool then. So suppose the first photo, second, third, fourth, right? Try this one, start from here, anything. Or other way I'll guide you. This is compulsory, you have to do that. If you do that, you will become very good, okay? See, it's a design in very sequence. Very simple, little complex, more complex, very complex. Right? That also on the not on very high level complexities are there. Right? So you can try it from one side, it may look good for you. Okay, just to do that. Next, after that, what we will do? Next, after that. See, suppose if you are learning the CSS in the notebook and pen, you should have notebook and pen. So in notebook, you only design some layout, one section on the top, one in the left, one in the right, one in the bottom. Okay, and write the CSS for that. Suppose one you wrote half 50%, something went here there. No problem, leave that example. Go for second step. Create another example where design one more layout in the notebook through the pen. And for that, again, do something, do R&D. Maybe you will try a little more, you will get a little more idea. So that way you can improve the like layout designing skill. And this, it is not one day work. Okay. It is not one day work. You have to do daily, then only you'll get to know. Okay. It is not one day work. You have to do daily, then only you will get some idea on that.
Sir,
Okay.
this assignment set 1, we have to just draw the layout only, na?
First
Through
state one,
division,
only layout.
through the divisions
Through division with the help of CSS. No
with
need
the
of the
help of
table.
CSS. Okay. And we can fill any random data inside there.
Data is your ways. That layout should look like that.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Okay. Try that. Then we'll see you again. Or please share the responders. We'll upload it tomorrow. I have evening. I have time because one video take long time to upload. Okay. One video take nearly 30-40 minute time to upload. After uploading also multiple things we need to fill. Right. So tomorrow evening I will upload all videos. 3-4 videos are there pending. You can follow that.